Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I've done a good tap tutorial, and this is one that I've been kind of wanting to work on for a while, but there were a lot of things that kind of had to be held secret for a little bit just due to priority and how who builds what heroes in what order. But now that that's all really evened out with the resource gain being sped up, I figured it's time to share this. So this is going to be the mid to late game strategies for Void Cage boss damage. If you're a beginning player, don't worry. If you don't have everything that I'm going to cover in this video, this is just an idea of what's out there and what you can kind of aim towards if void cage damage is going to be one of the priorities that you want to focus on. So let's get into it. All right. So before I get into the team building, there's probably more, but here is two things that you probably should know about this boss before building up for it. Is one, he is completely immune to crowd control. That means Koshka's cat doesn't work for the bonus damage, and you can't petrify with Cosmic Freya, and you can't silence, stun, anything like that. So if that is one of your strategies for like regular event bosses where all of those work, they do not work on void, and so you have to build around that as well. Second, this is the final fight before the boss. Now you'll see that on my way up I lost Sigurd. He died. So when you finish this fight, and you obviously don't want to use any runes on it, you fight this and you beat this, and then oh, I got it. Whoo! Didn't think I was going to get that. Okay, that helps. So now we are at the boss, and you will see that my Sigurd is revived and everybody has full energy. So you will always go into the boss fight with all heroes, full energy, and any strategy that you're using based on that is going to be fine. You don't have to worry about keeping people alive at certain times. That last fight is the only thing that matters. So those are two things that you should probably know going into it. And now let's go into the runes that you should be picking. Now, this boss is a cleric, and I know that he takes more damage from poison. If you don't have a way to find out these details about the boss beforehand, you're probably going to have to find a way to do it because they really help in choosing your rune. Your rune priority, number one, should be this one, Elemental Force. If you are using Phoenix or Saizo, or you happen to have any other hero that inflicts bleed, burn, or poison, you can even use Chazlon if you really need to. But if you have any of those, this is going to be your number one choice. Your second choice is going to be I replaced it. I messed up. Okay. Your number two choice is going to be the red version of the one that does extra damage to the boss class. In this case, cleric. And then after that, you're going to want any of these, which is plus damage to bleeding, and this one is burning, and there's another one for poison. And so as many of those as you can get on top of that. Now, Elemental Force gives you all of those three at once at 45%, but if you can't get Elemental Force, then these are the next best choices. You might think that the ones for crit damage, for attack, for or all of those might be good, or the one that does plus percentage of your HP to them. All of those honestly are negligible. They've been proven to add so little to your damage that they fall within the range of RNG that probably having them or not having them really isn't going to affect anything. There's also a set of ones that inflict burning or bleeding or poison on them at the start of the battle, and then it lasts for 15 rounds or whatever. But every time this boss dies, he wipes all of that. So those runes are going to be gone after the first round, and you're not going to want them anymore. So now let's look at the team. This is basically the kind of team that you're going to be wanting to use against this. This is a team that you can aim for. If you don't have double skulled, you can use any other buffer. If you don't have Saizo, you can again use any other buffer. You can use Chazlon, you can use Koshka. In a desperation, you can actually also use Cosmic Phoenix because she also gives plus damage to burning. The reason that we use these heroes, Saizo inflicts bleed and poison on any attack. That means his skill or his regular attack. And now you might think, okay, boss wipes his bleed and poison every time he dies. However, he is slightly bugged, and that if he has bleed and then dies, While he doesn't currently take bleed damage, his status is saved as having bleed until the end of the round. For that reason, Saizo absolutely needs to be faster than Arwen. Now you can see that my Saizo here, he's Platinum 3, he's got Speed Talent 1, he's got Speed Rune, and I've got him with an amulet, but my Arwen has 1986. That means Saizo is faster. However, if Saizo happens to get an eye from Galileo, you're screwed, but there's not much you can do about that. Other things to focus on, everybody that can possibly be must be faster than Arwen simply because Skuld's buff, I believe her true damage or whatever, all her stuff that stacks for 5 rounds. If she fires after Arwen, you basically only get four stacks of it rather than 5. Phoenix is the same speed as Skuld, so the same kind of thing applies there, as well as for the burning. The absolute minimum that you are looking at is any of these, Skuld and Phoenix, will be faster than Arwen at red 5 plus this, where is it? This one. Plus this speed node. So if they are at level 370 plus this speed node with all speed gear, they will still be faster than Arwen. So if you're trying to go as fast as possible to a good boss build, this is the point that your Skuld needs to be in order to be faster than a level 400 Arwen. Saizo, with again all of his gear and everything, can be level 390. Once he is level 390 with all the everything upgraded, he is exactly tied for speed with Arwen. And that's with, again, the talent, speed, and a speed rune. So exactly tied, meaning if anything happens with a speed bonus from I or anything else, you lose it all, but that is the minimum that you will need to do. And because of how firing order works, you just put Saizo in front of Arwen in the lineup, and if they are the same speed, Saizo will fire first every single time. So that is the team setup that you're going to be aiming for. Gear setup, I have Tears of the Goddess on Skuld, Phoenix, both Skulds and Phoenix, and I have it on Freya. Now, Freya, obviously, my Freya is not faster than my Arwen, but for Tears of the Goddess, and because Freya herself doesn't directly benefit or doesn't directly buff Arwen, that's not as critical. It's just as long as by the time that Arwen fires, she gets 100 energy. Reasoning for that is a Mythic 4 Tears of the Goddess gives all allies 25 energy. When Mythic 3 was the top, they only gave 20, so you needed 5 of these. But now at Mythic 4, they give 25, and so you need 4 of them. What that does is that opens up an extra spot on your team, and that's where Arwen obviously has an 88% as her artifact for that's fixed, but that allows you to throw an amulet in there. If you happen to have a second 88, an 88 will do more damage than an amulet, but I do not, so I'm using this amulet. And then finally, your pets, you're looking at Vinci and Galileo. Because you're under a lot of RNG from Galileo, you're not always going to get the same results every time, and you can't really know what your true maximum is because you have so few tries. But these are really going to be your most optimal. If you are using Tears of the Goddess, you want to build Vinci with attack final damage is set. This last one is either skill damage if you're using Tears of the Goddess, or it's crit damage if you're not. And then Galileo is something similar, but because I'm using him for PvP, my stuff is a little bit more PvP based. So even for everything I say, I'm not like fully maxed out, but I'm not willing to sacrifice PvP completely to do it. Rune wise, you could set everybody to speed just to guarantee that they're faster than Arwen in all cases. Or if you're really all in on Void Boss, you can set most of them to crit damage as well. That would be your ideal choice for really everybody. Crit damage would be the one because they reduce the target's crit damage by 20%. And because this can go negative, stacking this from everybody is the way to go. But if you're doing that, you're throwing away your ability to fight in PvP as well. So it's up to you how far down you want to go. So I will do this fight and show off a little bit of what it looks like. I don't think you're going to see anything too amazing. So the main idea is these three are going to fire first. They're going to buff everything. Saizo will then be the next one to fire. So Scold, Phoenix, Scold, Saizo. Now he's bleed, burn, poisoned. Arwen fires, gets her max damage on every skill. This Scold got eye, so she fires first. Gives energy to the other two. These three get energy. And Arwen fires, and basically that's what it looks like. So your goal is Phoenix attacking to burn, then Saizo attacking to bleed poison, then Arwen firing a skill every single turn, and that's really where all your damage is going to come from. So at the end of this, oh wow, that was pretty cool. That did 10 trillion damage. My damage was 354 trillion. That's actually very low. Oh, that's why. It's because I didn't use any runes. Okay, well, that's okay. So, once again, going through it, I forgot that I didn't set the runes to show off the team. And so that was a regular looking fight. This one, Arwen got armor. This Scold got eye. Really, the only thing you don't want to see is for her to get an eye like this Scold got. That's the only thing that you don't want to see. So the end result of this fight, which is basically all the same circumstances as the first one, was 1.4 quintillion. So that's what it looks like, the difference between having elemental force and not having it. Elemental force alone can really quadruple your damage, and here is the proof of that. This is a lot of strategies that we've kind of known for some time, but I figured should be put out there in some way so that at least people that would like to know how they get more damage on Void can do it. So you have an idea of what to build. That's all. I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions or there's something that I explained wrong or there's something I missed, let me know in the comments. And that's it. See you guys next time.